We're here with Matt Lancaster, Indian Valley Braves football, the defending Division IV state champions, back in the Final Four after a regional final win over the new Lexington Panthers, 34 to nothing. And I appreciate you joining us as always, Coach, and congrats on making it back to the Final Four. And I just want you to describe the feeling to me of making it to back-to-back Final Fours and doing so with a shutout win over a very good, high-powered New Lex offense.
It is a quite an accomplishment, and it's a testament to our kids' consistency and the work ethic and everything that they put into this, and to my whole coaching staff and our community. We only had I think two Final Four appearances in our county's history. Prior to the last 2 years, so it says a lot for our conference and our county and the quality of football here that we've been able to make it back again. So, and as you said, a shutout win against a very good New Lex team. At this point in the season, you want to be peaking, and you want to be clicking on all cylinders. And we probably played our most complete game against New Lex. Very, very good team, well coached. And to come out with a shutout and a convincing win like that, wasn't something that we were necessarily expecting. But that's a testament to the way our kids executed the game plan and played the game.
Now, you said it. That was probably the most complete game that you've played all season long. But in that first half, New Lex did give you some trouble, like especially defensively. They drew several holding calls against you and limited some of your big plays, and you were only going into the half up 14 to nothing. Is despite that being your most complete game, is that maybe the point of emphasis this week is cleaning up some of those holding calls and just being a little bit more efficient offensively?
Yeah, cleaning some things up, but I mean, realistically, that's just a credit to what New Lex was able to do. Because we had the ball two times in the first half, and we scored on both of them.
Right.
I mean, we had a possession right before half with a minute 14 seconds left to go or whatever. That
Sure.
we were in a little hurry up mode, but that's them executing their game plan and moving the chains and time of possession with the football, and that's important. In a big game like that, so uh, that's more of a credit to them than things that we've got to clean up. Our tackling can improve. But they had a big running back who was hard to bring down, and we
Yeah.
were we were challenging them to run the football inside, giving them a light box, and they were taking advantage of that, and so they were able to move the chains. But our defense, didn't break. Bent and they had some drives into our territory, but the defense held up in the end, and we executed our offensive drives that we had in the first half, and that gave us the lead before halftime.
Yeah, and Grady had another great game, 3 touchdowns, and set the career total touchdown record for the OHSAA. And but one guy that I thought also played an outstanding game on both sides of the ball was Ryker Williams. He had a passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and on some shots downfield, threw some nice balls that ended up drawing pass interference penalties. And then defensively came up with a couple huge sacks that did stop some of those New Lex drives. Just talk about what he's done on both sides of the ball, being your quarterback, leading this offense, but I mean, being one of your best defensive players as well.
Yeah, and honestly about Riker, I mean he's a tremendous young man and a great player, and just been a pleasure to coach. I've had the pleasure of coaching his older brother, and it comes from a great family. He would actually be a better defensive player. His stats would be a lot better if we could use him more. But because he's our
Right.
quarterback and he's so instrumental into what we do, we have to be careful on how much we use him because of the wear and tear of this game in a long season. So he gets frustrated because we'll tell him week to week, how many defensive snaps he's getting or what situation he's going to get in. But if it were up to him, he'd be out there all the time. And
Right.
if he weren't our quarterback, he'd be out there all the time, and he'd be a difference maker, in most every game because he's a tremendous D end and he has a motor that doesn't quit. But as you said, offensively too, he's been so consistent for us in running our offense and distributing the ball. And once again, he's a very good runner at the quarterback position, but we have to be a little bit careful in how much we run him because we want to keep him around. And we know he's a tough kid, but injuries do happen. But he's had some very efficient games for us this year, throwing the ball. A lot of games he'll be 7 of 8 passing, on play action, or 9 of 11, and those are good numbers for us. And that's him just carrying out the game plan and making his reads and getting the ball to the right guy. Which in that new Lex game, the RPOs that he completed 3 RPOs that were very, very crucial to 3 different guys. And that takes a lot of pressure off of Grady and the offensive line inside if they're stacking the box.
Now, you're one of the few teams left and few coaches that you get to have a Thanksgiving practice, and you got to have that last year, and so I'm sure it's becoming one of your favorite days of the year. And just talk to me about what that's going to be like tomorrow. And I know you mentioned before we started that you'll have alumni and people in the community there. Just talk to me about how special that is to have everybody there for that.
Well, second only to my anniversary. I have to say that one, Will. But
Yeah, yeah.
Thanksgiving practice, it is it was a dream of ours, my coaching staff and our players for a long time. Something we strive towards, and to get that last year, it was a really cool experience. We're really excited about it tomorrow. I couldn't believe how many alumni came out. We open up practice to the community and to alumni, and a lot of young kids too. Our elementary schools, they look up to these players, quite a bit, and so they'll be there, and I'm sure they'll have their little markers and want autographs from a couple players. But it's neat to have everybody rally around it, and then you get your practice out of the way in the morning, and then everybody goes home with their families and gets to enjoy their Thanksgiving day. So it's a cool experience, and we've been very blessed to, not just have one, but get to have another one tomorrow.
Now you've got your first ever meeting against Glenville on Friday in the state final four, and they were the 2023 state champs. You're the 2024 state champs. So the matchup of the last two state champions, and maybe a game that we thought we were going to see last year before Perkins took down Glenville in their state semifinal. But it's a defense that's led by Ohio State commit Cincere Johnson. Just talk to me about that matchup and what you're excited for going up against the Tarblooders.
Yeah, we know the tremendous machine and program that Glenville is over the years in Division 4. They've been the team to beat year in and year out, and Coach Ginn does a great job. And once again this year, watching them on film, there's no weaknesses in that team. Their defense, their offense, they just got speed and athleticism and size at all the positions, and they're deep. They play a lot of kids. It's something tough to contend with. We play a lot of kids both ways, and we're going to be outsized at every position. They're going to be faster than us. They're going to be stronger than us. So we know that we're the underdog, but we've been the underdog before. We know we were the underdog last year in the state championship game, and the week before that against Taft. So our kids know they're up against it, and we're going to come out and play as hard as we can.
Best of luck to you on Friday against Glenville, and hopefully you advance to yet another state championship game and come out with back-to-back state championships in Division 4. I really appreciate you always making time for me, Coach, and happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Will, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.